I'm Julie Bartke with this Senate update. One of the great unknowns this session is whether or not the legislature can pass a comprehensive transportation funding package that includes a gas tax increase, which has been proposed by both the Senate and by the governor. Hundreds of people gathered on the Capitol lawn to advocate for just that, a comprehensive transportation plan that invests in the state's infrastructure. The Senate and governor support that gas tax increase and have overall finance packages that total roughly $11 billion over 10 years. House and Senate Republicans continue to oppose any tax increase given the budget surplus. This group believes the gas tax increase is okay, and now is the time to pass it.
We're here to show support for our comprehensive, balanced, long-term funding, dedicated funding solution for our transportation system. Statewide, many modes of transportation. So we have some great folks here who are going to talk to you about the need for passing a good, solid transportation bill here in the Capitol in 2015.
The Minnesota AFL-CIO, along with affiliated unions, are strong Minnesota coalition partners to move our state forward, because we know our members and all workers in communities deserve a transportation system that works. All of us deserve safe, fast, and reliable ways to get to work, be it our roads, our bridges, public transportation, or infrastructure. We rely on our transportation system in order to do our jobs. Our teachers and school bus drivers want to ensure that students get to and from school safe and on time. Our firefighters and healthcare workers want to respond without delay. Our construction workers want to build and repair roads and bridges and transit lines. Just ask the people who do the work in transportation, and I'll bet they'll tell you our transportation system is falling apart. Is that right? Our public employees know that because they inspect the bridges and fill the potholes and plow the snow. We need our lawmakers to pass a long-term, balanced, comprehensive, and gimmick-free transportation bill this season. And that's why we're here today. So if you're a union member, please join us at the Minnesota AFL-CIO table at the end of this rally, and we can connect you with your elected officials, so that you can tell them it's time to fix transportation now. Not next year, not just a one-time gimmick, not just one mode of transportation, and certainly not a false choice between people and projects. So sisters and brothers, and all of you today, join me in asking your elected officials to fix transportation now.
Well, this is a beautiful day, and I'm not just talking about the weather. All of you out here at the Capitol are beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. It is only because of you that we have come as far as we have in getting a comprehensive transportation bill passed and start on the work of improving the lives and the economy and the aspirations and the hopes and the dreams of Minnesotans in every corner of this state, everywhere the state goes. We absolutely have to pass a comprehensive transportation bill. It's the only way we make Minnesota work for everyone and compete on a national and international stage. I just spoke with our Majority Leader, Tom Bach. He asked me to tell you that I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, and I'm speaking on behalf of him, and he wanted me to remind you that we've been here before. The Senate has done this already. In 2013, we passed a big bill. We're ready to do this. We're ready to act. So let's get this done. It is so important and so vital. A few years ago, when we started down this path, everyone said, you can't do this. You just passed a bill in 2008. Well, remember, in 2008, we passed a bill under very difficult circumstances, and we only got a tiny step of the way there. At that point, we knew the extent of the problems and the magnitude of the opportunity that was in front of us, and we said, we're not going to wait 10 years, we're not going to wait 20 years to come back and have this discussion. Minnesota lives are too important. Jobs, equity, justice, opportunity, those are the values that lie at the core of doing the basic work that we do in the public realm. Government is about all of us. It's about coming together and doing for each other what otherwise we can't do individually. Our prosperity is at stake. People's ability to get to their work, to worship, to school, senior citizens staying in their homes so they can remain a vital part of every community, so they can participate in our economy. Young people who want to live here and are looking for the quality of life that is available in other cities. We want those young people, that energy. We want them here in Minnesota. We want to keep the young people who grew up here to be able to have jobs and access to opportunity. We are facing an employment shortage. At the same time, in some of our neighborhoods, people can't access work. That is unacceptable. We can do better, Minnesota. And transportation, buses, trains, roads, bridges, being able to walk around your community, that's what lies at the heart of this. This isn't some abstract idea about pavement quality or, bonding authority. It's about our lives, about our livelihoods, our prosperity, the quality of life. We have enjoyed the generosity of generations before us. We are living off of that generosity. We have one of the finest states in the entire country and one of the finest countries in the world. And now it is our turn to invest in our own lives and the lives of our children, the lives of our mothers and fathers who did so much for us, and leave a legacy for those who come behind us. That is our challenge and our opportunity. It has been a thrill. It has been so exciting to see people in every corner of the state come together around this idea and find this energy. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. We have the leadership of the governor. We have the leadership of numerous legislators. We have literally dozens and dozens of individual legislators who have come forward with very expensive transportation proposals in front of the committee over the last week and a half. We've heard about what their communities and their leadership want in great detail. So now the question comes, do our values follow the resources that we devote to those things? Because after all, budgeting is about values, it's about priorities, it's about investing in people's lives. So thank you for being here on this beautiful day. Please do not let this rally be the extent of what you do here on this campus today. This is great, this is fantastic. But do you know how many legislators can hear us right now? None, because you know where they are? They're inside the building or they're in their offices. This only matters if you go find your elected representative. They are elected to represent you, to reflect the values and the hopes, the ideals, the aspirations that you have. It is a democracy. And what will matter the most is if you have an eyeball-to-eyeball conversation with them and you tell them about your lives, you speak with courage and authenticity, and you teach them about what's important to you. That's how democracy works. That's how this place works. Otherwise, I think they can do whatever they want, and it's perfectly fine. You tell them what you expect of them. You tell us what you expect of us. Hold us to a higher standard. Make us accountable. Make us do this. Thank you very much.
It seems that we're so stuck on the no tax pledge, we can't get beyond that. Gas moves up 10 to 40 cents within 3 or 4 days. Nobody bats an eye. Few really talk about the other taxes, and I'll list them for you from my perspective. We don't talk about a congestion tax, an air quality tax, a lost economic opportunity tax, the vehicle repair tax, the reduced productivity, the loss of life, the reduced family time tax, and heaven forbid we should talk about property tax. The minute that we as counties look at increasing property tax for transportation, and commissioners know that are out here, we get hit with levy limits because we're irresponsible. Baloney. I could use other words, but I won't do that in public. Give an example. Kantihoi County, just to fund our 5-year plan, even if we raise the wheelage tax to $20, we're still $5 million short in the next 5 years. For us, that is a 4% property tax per year, each and every year. That is unconscionable, and I will not support that. As farmers, we don't deliver our grain in 100-bushel flare wagons anymore. As business, we don't have a 2.5-ton truck single axle around, you see. We have changed. Why are we trying to fund a 21st century transportation system with 19th century policies and politics?
We are going to get the bill passed this year, but we're going to need to make sure, as all the other speakers have said, that it's the real deal, that it's a real bill and we're not faking our way through it. And that's what I'm most concerned about. So I hope that when you go out and talk to your legislators, when you go out and talk to people, you're telling them we got to stop the bullshit on this and we got to get the work done, because that's what it's going to take. And what it also is going to take, and what's important, is that we're not pitting transportation against everything else that's important in the state of Minnesota. And we already see in the budget that the Republicans have put out that they're taking money from education and from healthcare to pay for transportation. Transportation is important, but all those things are important, and we can do it another way. And that's what this is about. So let's make sure we do it in a real way, that we deliver on a transportation system that all Minnesotans are going to care about, and that we're taking care of our kids and our grandkids in the future, because that's what investment in transportation is about. Earlier generations did it for us. We need to do it for the next generation.
This is about moving Minnesota. This is about moving Minnesota forward. And your organization understands that. All of you who are part of that, all of you who came here today, it's about moving Minnesota forward. And you know, I thank the Senate, Senator Bach, Senator Dibble, and the others who from the very beginning have supported very close to what I said. We got to have a bit more money in it. We got to have a dedicated fund that they can't take away. We got to promise that we're going to be committed to doing this for the next 10 years. We're going to put people to work all over the state. We're going to rebuild Minnesota. We're going to have public transit here in the metropolitan area, and we can't settle for anything less. So, now, I'm glad that the House leadership and Representative Kelly, the chair, have recognized that this is a long-term commitment, has to be, that is up somewhere in the neighborhood anyway of where the Senate and I are. So that's a step forward. But, you know, we've done in the past, we've taken money from a general fund and a surplus and put it into transportation. And you know what? Next biennium, the surplus is gone, and so is the extra money for transportation. You can't just say, we'll take it here while we have it, and 2 years later we'll cut back or we'll even eliminate it. And you talk to people in the industry, building roads and everything else that you guys do, they say, you gotta have a long-term commitment. We're not gonna bring in more crews, we're not gonna commit capital and new equipment technology unless we know we got something we can rely on for the next 10 years or even beyond. So this is about moving Minnesota forward. You know, I mean, I got 3.5 more years, and by the time these projects get built, you know, my move Minnesota will be getting my wheelchair, electric wheelchair, to get me down to. But this is about all of us, and it's about our kids, and it's about our grandkids. And it's about doing what we must for Minnesota. For 25 years, we've avoided this, and look where we are now. Look at how the congestion, look at the deterioration, look how far our public transit system. This is Minnesota. We're not going to put up for that. We can't stand it any longer, or we're going to strangle the social and economic vitality of our state. And I don't want to be responsible for that. You don't support it. Let's get it done here, and then let's go to work. Thank you very much.